What's up, everybody? On a Monday. Oh, yeah. You guys ready for a countdown? It's about that time. Yeah. Okay, it's 10:30. No, it's not. It's 11:30. You guys ready to get going? I've lost track of what time it even is. I don't even know what time it is. Time for the Vital Axiom. That's what time it is. Time to rock and roll with the show. Time to get her going, get her done, get going, get that thing on the road, get her up and in gear, and hammer down. Too much coffee. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome into the Vital Axiom on a Monday. 934 internet broadcast here on the Periscope and the YouTube and the Facebook. How you guys doing? Welcome in. It's a busy day here at the church. A lot going on. We got food distribution and lots of people lining up to get food today. And then later this afternoon, we're supposed to get a load of mattresses. I think they're coming from a military base, probably used, of course. And then also, tomorrow, a load of furniture from the same place, probably, barracks type bedroom furniture. I've seen some pictures. So sorry, and we've done it before, so I feel like it's going to be some pretty decent stuff. If you know somebody needs some furniture, it's not really ours. We're just kind of using our facility to house it for folks. But I'm sure we'll be able to give it away. What's up, everybody? Hey, Nicholas. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you on. And there's Lisa. Hey, Lisa. Lisa's in the house. And then tell that little baby thank you for the note she gave me, Lisa. It's so sweet. Hey, Uncle Aaron's here. Gary, how you doing? Kraft is here. How you doing, Gary? Pauline's in here. Patty got in. And over there, I think Denise is on Periscope. And I don't know if anybody's on the other Facebook or YouTube. I can't see all those, so. Oh, did you hear that? Wow, it freaked out. It's supposed to be doing that. I don't know what happened. Did this song yesterday at church. Josh Wallen, what? What? Are you here? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you on the show. Sorry, we're going to talk this week again about progress because it's kind of a big deal. Last week we talked about your past, which we're not really going to talk much about. This week we're going to talk about the right now, the present, the current, and what's happening in your life. And we're going to use our scripture we used and talk about a lot of cool stuff, and just have some fun hanging out. She's a sweetheart. You're gonna turn your back one day, and I'm gonna sneak and take her home, and we should be our little daughter, our granddaughter, adopted daughter. Choking to death. So you guys know this song, right? It's Good Father, and you can sing it with me. If you know it, let's just worship together. I love this song. Many stories of what? Oh, I've heard many stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whispers of love in the dead of night as you tell me that you're pleased and that I am never alone. You're a good, good father. It's who you are, who you are, who you are, and think about the word worthy. Worthy. Worship. One of my friends used to say worthship. Worthship. God is worthy. He's worthy of our worship. He's a mighty, great, loving God. How you guys doing today? I'm so glad to see you on here. My uncle's asking for prayer. He's been having seizures. I'd like to ask you to lift him up in prayer and believe God for a touch in his life. Thankful for God's love and mercy, Reedy says. Thank you, Janet. I didn't write it. I wish I did, but I love it too. I love it. Sorry about all the at the beginning. I thought I was ready. I did a bunch of water drinking. I've drunk about half of that or more, and it's still, well, anyway, enough of that. One of my friends says, please don't talk about it. But I struggle, so I just want you to know that every now and then I can sing on occasion. Except when that's going on. We're glad to have you on the show this week. It's another week of the Vital Axiom. If you just got here, it's 934 broadcasts. And we're talking this week again about progress. And so I kind of do a quick review. Last week we talked about how you can't deal with the future and you can't move into the future until you deal with your past. You can't move to what's forward until you fix or deal with what's lying behind. And we did that. So then we said, okay, so are you moving forward? Are you progressing? And here's our passage again. I want to read it one more time for us so we can remember. One thing I do, this is my one aspiration. This is the Amplified Version. Forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead. So we last week we did forgetting, moving away from the past, letting go, not holding on. Then he says, then I strain. Now we're going to talk about the straining part this week, that moving forward. And I press toward the goal to win the prize to which God in Christ Jesus is calling us. You know, sometimes you have to back up, we said, before you can move forward. You got to be able to deal with that. So here's where we are. Are you making progress? So then if you've dealt with the past, crazy, 934. I know that. Can you believe it, Josh? Josh's been hanging around for a while, almost 1,000. I know that. We were talking about a fundraiser, but we've kind of said, well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I want to do some upgrades, but maybe sometime in the future. Are you making progress? Have you dealt with the past? And if you've dealt with the past, you should be prepared to move forward, right? Not necessarily. Here's the question I want to ask you. I want you to think about your spirituality, your relationship with God, your relationship with God in this very moment right now as we sit here. And here's my question for you. Is your spiritual life on idle? Are you in a place where you're just idling? You're just, you're sitting there, your little motor's running, but you're not going anywhere. You know, so many Christians, and I believe they probably are Christians. I think they're probably saved. Some may not be. They're professing something they may not possess. Are sort of in a place of apathy, in a place of cynicism. They're just kind of parked. I mean, in the broad sense, they love the Lord and they believe in Jesus and the cross and all. But when it comes to real spiritual progress, like Paul's talking about, pressing toward the mark of the high calling and that whole idea of passionately working for the kingdom, no. In fact, I might even say, if I get it bold here, the majority of the church is not really passionate or bold. Hey, Trish. But we'll replay. You get to hear me crack and pop and choke and cough. That'd be good. Happy Monday. To Vegas, folks. So is your spiritual life on idle? Not American Idol. Is your spiritual life idling? Are you moving? Are you moving? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about movement. What are some signs of progress? So let's talk about salvation. I come and give my life to Christ. I get saved, born again, sins washed away, prepared for eternity. And then what? Do I just sit down? You know, do I sit in the pew and sit down and just park? Man, I'm saved. Look around. Boy, this place, look at that stained glass up there. Man, I just, woo. Jesus could come any minute, anytime. I'm just right here. Is that what we're supposed to do? That's what most of the church does. Hey, Tim Cornette. So what does moving look like? Well, first of all, forward motion. Forward motion. You know, I don't care how long you've professed salvation. Are you still sitting in the same place you were sitting in when you got saved? Has there been spiritual growth, which we'll talk about growth probably tomorrow? Are you moving forward? Here's some signs. Forward motion, changing scenery. You know, as you're driving, let's say, for example, across country, we got to drive down to North Carolina to see, to Blowing Rock over there to see all the grandbabies. We all came and held up in the same hostel together and just spent some time eating food and loving on grandbabies. And the scenery changed as we went. I went through all these places in Tennessee and then in the North Carolina. And you knew you were moving because the changing of the scenery. So many Christians, the scenery of their spiritual life is really exactly what it was the day they got saved. Exactly. They don't know any more scriptures than they knew. They don't pray any more than they did. I mean, they're just in that place of kind of parked. So one way you know that you're moving forward is the scenery of your spirituality is changing. You say, well, I really don't know what that means. Well, it means that you are moving into areas of understanding. You're moving into areas of growth. You're moving into areas of perception, anointing. Things are progressing in your life. Things are changing. Like, for example, you change location. If you are, it doesn't mean, I'm not saying you pack up and leave your church and go to another church. I know sometimes that happens, but changing location means you're not in the same place you were. You see, I think a lot of Christians, and I believe it's terrible theology, and I blame preachers. I'm just going to blame them for not challenging. Can I tell you this? It's easier for a preacher or pastor not to challenge you to do anything. That way he can just kind of run the thing and don't have to have any headaches. People messing up or saying the wrong things, trying to learn how to be leaders. But one thing for sure is if you're growing, if you're progressing, if you're moving, if you're pressing toward the mark, then the location of where you were and where you are now are not the same. You can't say, hey, honey, we're going on a trip. Where are we going? Well, we're just going to sit in the car and look out the windows. We're not going to put it in park or drive. Nah, we'll just sit there and idle, turn the AC on, might take a nap. Our seats recline. We got those heated seats. That's not progress. You have to actually go. You have to start the wheels to turning. You got to start rolling. And so many Christians are not in that place. So first of all, we know that progress can be measured or at least understood by going forward, changing scenery, changing location. And if you're sitting in the same place you were the day you got saved or 6 months ago, something's missing. Something's missing in your life. I'm not trying to be critical, but we are called to growth. We're called to move. We're called to press toward the mark of the high calling of God. Progress can also be measured in growth. Let's talk a little bit about that. We got there quicker than I thought we would, and we'll cover this and jump back on it again tomorrow at the beginning of the broadcast. For example, here's things when your kids grow up, things change. I told the church yesterday when I shared this message, you can go watch it in its entirety on our Facebook page, Zion Family Ministries on Facebook. And I told the church yesterday, I remember when Keaton went from drinking, I don't know, maybe half a gallon of milk to about 4 or 5 gallons of milk in a week. The cows in the fields were crying, no more. They didn't, because he was just drinking milk like crazy. What was happening to him? He was growing. When you grow, when there's growth in your life, there's hunger. Now, I want you to ask yourself, are you really hungry for more of God? So many Christians are, I'm saved, I'm good. And they would actually argue with you that there is any more. And it's pretty arrogant to believe that you have actually reached every pinnacle that there is in God and found every secret and delved into every area of understanding. That's really arrogant to believe that. I got it all and I got saved. Well, no, the Bible doesn't tend to say that because all these saved people are being challenged by God to grow, become mature, to produce the fruit of the Spirit, to learn the Word. So one of the things we see with spiritual growth is hunger. Any kind of growth, for example, but certainly spiritual growth is hunger. Your appetite increases. You have to have more. You got to have a little more. It's like, when you're a little kid, you get a little serving this big, and when you grow up, you get a serving this big. It's like, whoa, you're eating the whole sandwich, the whole large pizza by yourself. Another thing that happens is that things that used to fit don't fit anymore. If you're making spiritual progress, you're going to have some new attire, new shoes. Remember when your kids start crying about, Mom, what's wrong with my feet? What's wrong with them? My shoes are too small. Oh, we just bought those. We go into Walmart or somewhere to get another pair. Your feet, can I do this? Your walk becomes greater, bigger. Your foundation is larger. When you're growing in God, you'll be changing your shoes. You'll be enlarging the area. The Bible talks about in the Old Testament about God enlarged my tent stakes. Bless me and enlarge, and all these things happen as you grow in God, as you progress in God. Things that used to be fitting in your life, now this is really powerful, are no longer fitting. Things that you used to be okay with, and yeah, that's okay. Now you don't even want to you don't want to be around anymore because you're growing and you're growing away from those things. And then something else that happens when we see somebody begin to grow up is their weight changes. their weight changes. They suddenly you're looking at his arms are getting bigger and his chest's filling out. It's like, dude, man, look at you, man. You know, he weighs and he's gained 25 pounds. What's happened? He's growing. When I say weight, I think spiritually the weight of who you are, your authority and your impression in darkness is much greater. I'm so reminded of when the 7 sons of Sceva, I believe it was, went to try to cast the devils out of a man. And the man said this before he whipped them real good. He said, Jesus I know, and there's another person who carries weight with me, and that's Paul. So what happens when you grow spiritually, your weightiness in spiritual authority just increases. You become more of a threat, more of a danger in darkness. You're waiting. And then the last thing I wrote down, we'll talk about this more tomorrow, is your strength. Your strength you just get stronger. Things you used to be you could not endure, now you can endure. Things that you could not really bear or lift or whatever. Now you got it. What happened to you? You've grown spiritually. You progressed. So I want you to think about these things today. My question really is, are you progressing in God? Are you moving forward? Now, we talked last week about maybe your past is your problem. But now we're going to talk about maybe your present is your problem. We're going to talk about some things in your life that might be hindering you from really growing or moving on in God or becoming a mature, strong Christian full of spiritual authority. And it's really a big deal for your life and for your church and the ministry you're involved in. Well, kids, that's it for us today. I pray you have a great day. We got a busy day. If you want to come help us unload a traction trailer, I just got a message a minute ago. I couldn't see what she said. But we think it's going to be here around 2 o'clock. Mattresses. You can come help us. That's it for today, guys. Love you guys. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for showing up and showing out a little bit. Glad you're with us on the Vital Axiom for the journey. 934 is in the tank. Love you guys. See ya. You guys have a great day, too. And by the way, thanks for watching the Vital Axiom. It wouldn't be us without you. It wouldn't be we without thee.